Thank you for tuning into this week's bonus episode. This is the Mind Hiking Podcast, and I'm your host, Brody Frye, and we'll get right into this, guys. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Brody Frye, and here we dive deep into difficult questions. We'll map out thoughts, theories, and crazy ideas for the love of knowledge and growth. So, how do we answer some of the mind's toughest questions? This is the Mind Hiking Podcast. All right, guys, welcome back. Today, nothing fancy. Just got my purified drinking water, so we'll see if it does something. Oh, I guess a little crackle. All right, let's get into this. Today, kind of want to focus around just when I look around the world and even in like my personal life, what I see is so much materialistic obsession and the way people just they like identify with their achievements and with what they've done or what they have, and this goes across the board too. Everybody and anybody. It's like it's totally understandable as well, because we're here, we're doing what we can, and we are perceiving what we perceive, and people look at us. I mean, look at social media. Everybody's trying to make themselves look the best they possibly can. And so it's no question as to why people do this, why they get fixated on physical, objective things and identify with that and relate that to the success of their life. And I'm just going to tell you that that's not true or right. Yeah, it's cool to have nice things or fancy things, and you could even carry this as far as to say, if you have a lot of money, yeah, that's cool too, but that doesn't say that's not you. It's like you hear it over and over again. You can't take it with you when you die. Or how many sayings there are about not being able to take money with you when you die. Like, you never see a hearse filled with gold, or you never see a hearse with an armored vehicle behind it carrying all the wealth of that person dying, or whatever, however many examples. The only way you can take wealth with you when you die is if you're an Egyptian, I guess, just like the pharaohs, buried with their riches. Yeah, it's just it's understandable. It's understandable why people do that, especially struggle with it, because you're spending your whole life here. I mean, we don't have a choice. We're plopped into these bodies and have no direction or anything. We have no idea what's going on. We're just plopped here, and we got to make the best of it. And you work very hard. You work super hard to accomplish and achieve everything that you can. And then it sucks, because what's it all for? And we never know, while we're here at least. So it's understandable why people get fixated on that, especially with that said, on top of that, you have the social pressures, the people around you or people on social media that are looking at you and see what you're doing or who you are, and we all do it, and you just look at what people have accomplished and what they have, and judge them for it. And it's no wonder why people identify with what they have and what they've done. But I think that's not right for society. I think there's much more to that. I think it's you can achieve everything that you want in life. And for a lot of people, they want a lot of money, they want that nice house, they want that nice car. I think the objects like that, I guess we can break it down this way. The objects are the least important. The things like that, like the car and the house and the whatever else, the money. The money is the worst of it all. If you're pursuing, all money is just it's a means of doing things. It's just a tool for the ability to do what you want with it, whether that be going out to dinner, having a nice dinner with your wife, or paying for fuel for travel, or paying for a plane ticket for travel, or stocking your house with supplies, or whatever else you might do. It's like sitting in the bank. All it is just like a potential tool for a means of living. And so that's the worst of it, because it's just like a potential object. It's a currency. But and you'll never have enough. You can chase that forever and you'll never have enough. So that's the most pointless thing to identify with. And the second would be just objects, like things like cars and homes. But then things that actually mean something. Well, I guess I would say that probably the next thing that matters the least is your achievements, like things that you've accomplished, trophies that you have from things that you've done, or like your degrees, or your any sort of like achievement in, like, if you played sports, or you're really good at something like that, or like that case full of all those bowling trophies, or whatever sport you play, and you're really good at that. Like any of your achievements like that, it's better because it's not like physical objects. Like you worked hard in your life and you achieved something, and you should be proud of that. But again, not something to be identifying with, because there's more than that. But one thing, I guess, where it starts to actually matter in life is your impact on other people, and that would include creating a family. That stuff matters. That stuff is the real stuff. That's when you fall in love with somebody, and you're lucky enough to have them fall in love with you, and you build a life together and create a family, and the effect that you put on other people around you, the emotions that you give to the people you surround yourself with, that stuff matters. That stuff making somebody smile is worth way more than any amount of money that you can make. That's That's a memory that can't be taken away. Money or objects can always be taken away, but the memories you have forever. I mean, nobody truly knows what happens when you die, but if you've seen enough death, you can see, and the energy doesn't just shut off. It's never worked that way. Energy doesn't just leave. It's dissipated elsewhere or changed. I've used the example of slowing down a car before. That's that's kinetic energy, having your vehicle move at however fast, 35, 45, whatever miles an hour. And then when you press your brakes, it's not like your car just stops. Your car doesn't just stop. It's kinetic energy from your car moving forward, the brake pads squeezing the rotors because of the pressure you're applying through your brake pedal, through your brake lines with the brake fluid, squeezing that piston in your caliper, pushing the brake pads against each other, pinching the rotor. And that the rotor and brake pads are creating friction, which turns the kinetic energy into thermal energy. So it's dissipating. And then the rotor, especially on the front rotors are squeezing. The front brakes are like 70% stronger than the rears, because otherwise you just skid. And the weight transfer forward, it needs to be stronger in the front. But usually they're like double wide with a ventilation down the center because they're obviously creating more friction, more heat. So it can dissipate quicker. There's 2 layers. It'll cool off. It's ventilated because there's so much thermal energy buildup when you're stopping, especially when you're stopping really hard and really fast after you've been going really fast. And the more I look around, the more I'm seeing it's got to be something like that, especially if you've seen the life leave someone's eyes. All the muscles just relax, and like you can see the eye. There's life there, and then boom, it's gone. Even if it's a slow death, there's a split-second moment where you can see the life, and then the soul's gone. The spirit left. And then the muscles all just relax because there's nothing in the body to tense the muscles anymore. I think the soul just leaves the body. I think we're just in these bodies for now. I think these bodies are tools for life. We're just using them. It's like a rent-a-car, and we just return it when we're done. That's why it's important to take care of the body, because you take care of a rental car because it's not yours. I don't think these bodies are ours. I think we return these bodies, and I think it's wrong to identify with these bodies. I don't agree with people making alterations to their bodies, and obviously maintenance is one thing, like getting haircuts and taking care of your body and maintaining it. But unless it's for like a legit medical reason, like you were in a horrific fire or something and had a portion of your face burned or something like that, something tragic and horrible, other than an example like that where it's required medically, like plastic surgery and stuff, I think is just totally unnecessary. And it's, I don't know. If there's ways to look at everything at, like if it's something that you enjoy, I'm not saying like nobody should be allowed to do this. I just think it's out of hand in this society. Like, I don't know. where I'm trying to get, I'm not trying to focus on like the body like that, but where I think it gets out of hand is just the identifying with what you're doing. Like you can't feel like you unless you change something about your body. And I think that's wrong because I don't think you are your body. Obviously you're not, because you leave your body eventually. I think what the most important thing is using our bodies as tools to make an impact on the souls around us. It's more than this physical plane of existence. It's about making an impact, making somebody happy, making their life better. Because I think that carries on. I think even though our physical bodies don't carry on, if you help somebody or serve somebody or make somebody else's life easier, because I can almost hear it already where people saying like, if this life doesn't matter, if everything that we identify with, everything around us doesn't matter, then what does it matter if I help somebody or not? Because none of this matters. I can hear somebody saying that already, but that's absolutely not true, because that action still leaves an impression in the mind and the soul. That action that you chose to do still created an emotion in you and an emotion in the other person. And that matters. That will carry on. What you've done in this plane of existence matters, not the objects you've collected, not how you've altered your body. What matters is what you've done and how you've treated other souls. And that's what you get to take with you when you die. It's a tough question to think about, and it's hard to think about your own death, but it definitely puts perspective into your mind. And I like to think about it often. I do. And I do think about it often, and the perspective of that is important. It keeps you grounded, and I think it's toxic thinking you're better than somebody. Because anybody, if anything that you've ever accomplished, anybody else can do the same thing. If they've worked as hard as you or done whatever, we all have similar enough bodies where if our souls and minds and bodies train, if we train up our bodies, we upgrade our bodies enough, we can accomplish anything that the next person can. So it's not about that. It's about who we are. And can we get past all of this material stuff and get past just how, I think a lot of it is overcoming the emotions of this physical plane, because this physical plane of existence, it forces a lot of emotions on us. It's a huge test. But I think we got to use our mental strength, and it's like maturing us. It's like developing us. Like what can we become here? It's like softening the clay. It's like we're softened clay. And then when we die, it's like going into the kiln and baking, and whatever we've created our souls to be while it was soft is how it's going to be. Because then when we die, who we were when we died is how we're going to stay. I don't know. That's just a theory, but we're moldable right now, and we're in control, and we can change who we are now. And maybe we can after we die. Maybe after we die, maybe that's why we're here. Maybe we volunteered our souls volunteered to live these lives so we can mature, so we can, maybe we don't know any more than what we've already learned, and we choose to enter back into life so that way we can upgrade ourselves. We can learn new skills. We can become better people, learn new life lessons, and then when we die, our spirits get to hang on to everything that we've learned. But in the spirit plane, you're stuck how you were. I don't know, just another theory. But again, I think most important thing of this episode and what I'm trying to get across is just to, like a lot of these bonus episodes, just be a nice person, be kind, and because that's what really matters. The impact we're leaving on others. The way you decide to treat another soul. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like all these episodes, if you hear one that you really enjoy, please share it and send it to somebody. It's awesome to see this podcast growing, and I really appreciate the support. So keep on spreading the word and keep on listening, and have a great rest of your week. And I will see you guys Monday. Thanks for tuning in, and peace out.